Good morning, everyone. We will get started at the top of the hour. It's now 11:57, so in a couple of minutes, we will start the webinar. So hang in there. Test, 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 test. Good afternoon, everybody. This is SCORE Cleveland. I'm a SCORE mentor, and I'll be hosting your session today. This session is called Capacity Building for Nonprofits. What you will learn today are how to assess your nonprofit's strategic capacity to use a standard business process called SWOT: Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats. We'll go over 4 steps to build your organization to align around its cause and its mission. We will discuss techniques to increase revenue and diversity of funding sources. And we will come up with strategies to recruit and retain high impact volunteers. So that's kind of the summary of it there. I'd like to remind everybody that if you have a question, please put it in the chat. We will have time at the end to answer questions, so I probably won't be answering them live as we go along, unless it's really something that's important for you. And with that, I'm going to share my screen. And let's bring this up. And so this is SCORE, is for the life of your business. And what is SCORE? SCORE is the largest network of free volunteers, of small business mentors. No matter what stage of your business, SCORE has a mentor for you. You can easily request a mentor to help you start, grow, or transition your business today. SCORE's mission is to foster vibrant small business communities through mentoring and education, and we aim to give every person the support they need to thrive in a small business. Small business drives our national economy through business formation, job creation, and wealth building. Small businesses are critical to vibrant communities in our society. SCORE volunteers, and there are more than 90 of them in the greater Cleveland area, give freely of their time, energy, and knowledge to help others. SCORE in 2024 on a national basis helped form almost 60,000 new businesses, resulting in over 84,000 new jobs. So it's a fairly big deal in terms of what SCORE does, and Cleveland chapter is a part of it. We are a nonprofit organization supported by grants, sponsors, and volunteers. Yes, SCORE did lose some funding in the current budget uh, changes going on in Washington, but your support helps us keeping mentoring and webinars free and expanding our outreach to small business owners who need it the most. If you find the value in the program today, you are solicited, if you so desire, to make a contribution of $10 to $25. You can donate by pointing your camera or other mobile device at this QR code and then clicking on the download link. I'll leave that up for just a moment. And so, just to let you know that you can get free mentoring to grow your small business, go to the SCORE website, enter your zip code wherever you are. You don't necessarily have to be in Cleveland, anywhere in Ohio or anywhere in the US. You can request a mentor, and by entering your zip code, you'll be directed to the SCORE chapter nearest to you. Our services are free. We do receive funding from the Small Business Administration of the US government. However, SCORE as a nonprofit sets its own direction and consistent with that funding. So we'd like to thank our sponsors, which include Cleveland Neighborhood Progress, Truex Law, the Community Foundation of Lorraine, Growth Capital, and a special thank you to PNC, KeyBank, Comstar, Community Star Credit Union, and Wells Fargo. We extend our deepest gratitude to these institutions that have generously supported the Cleveland chapter of SCORE, and your contributions play a vital role in empowering entrepreneurs and small business through our community. Your partnerships helps makes our mission possible, fostering growth, innovation, and success for small business in Northeast Ohio. Again, to find a SCORE mentor, here's another chance to capture that QR code. You'll see this at the end, or don't forget, you can go to score.org anytime to see this link. The homepage is on the left and capturing a mentor is on the right. I'll leave that up for a little bit, just in case you didn't get it the first time. Here it is again. So just for a few seconds, get out the old camera or other mobile device and capture these QR codes. They'll give you the URLs to our website and to the ability to request a SCORE mentor. And with that, we're going to step into our session here, which is capacity building, strategy, and alignment. I want to thank Anita Kayat, who is a SCORE mentor, for the content of these slides and for her expertise in keeping them current. Capacity building, organizational strengthening, the core areas of your nonprofit that are needed to function and grow effectively. There's four areas here: your strategy, your leadership, your operations and financial management, and crucially, fundraising. All right, if you don't have organizational alignment across those four areas, your nonprofit will not be as successful as you would wish it to be. 70% of organizations struggle with poor organizational alignment, and this prevents successful strategy implementation. This is a screenshot here from a recent conference that says a broken culture costs more than you think. It steals trust, kills motivation and drives your best people out the door, which as a volunteer organization, you do not want. Okay, how do you create organizational alignment? Well, we start at the lower left with vision, values, and mission, and then a strategic business plan. Yes, nonprofits have business plans just as businesses have business plans. You have policies, job description and hiring, performance plans and coaching for staff and for volunteers, and incentives, mostly for staff, but also for volunteers. Volunteer recognition is extremely important. And there has to be rewards and consequences. Rewards for behavior and performance that aligns with the nonprofit's mission, and consequences and change when it doesn't. All right, so how do you get going? Here are 4 steps to capacity building strategies. First, assess, conduct a thorough SWOT analysis. What does SWOT mean? Is that an acronym, or where did that come from? It means your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and your threats. And by threats, I don't mean somebody's going to come and hit you with a baseball bat. It means there are things going on out there in the community that could affect your change. For instance, other nonprofits, bigger and more well-funded, can soak up donor interest, leaving you without the ability to raise funds. That's an example of a threat. You always want to think through, when you want to start a nonprofit, who else besides you thinks this is a good idea? And do a survey and see if anyone else in your neighborhood, in your community, in the region is doing what you think you want to do. Because if they are, you may want to go talk to them and see if you want to align with them rather than starting over from scratch. Second, determine and identify your strategic direction. Where do you want to take the organization? For instance, if you have a nonprofit dealing with homelessness, how do you want to address it? Do you want to address it in terms of temporary shelters? Do you want to address it in terms of affordable housing? What is it that you want to do? Third, align, create clear strategies and action teams. This flows down from your strategy. Every strategy needs an action plan. And by the way, every action plan needs measurements to see how well you're doing. These are called key performance indicators, KPIs. You want to measure your progress. There's an old saying, what gets measured gets managed. And if you're not measuring it, you have to ask the question, did it happen? Finally, implement, execute, evaluate, and adjust annually. What is SWOT analysis? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Your goal is to convert weaknesses into strengths and threats into opportunities. Aligning stakeholders creates clear strategic direction. It involves all levels of the organization and your board. The goal is to develop specific capacity and building strategies. You can set breakthrough goals, for instance, 15 to 50% annual growth. You can establish, for instance, a 3-year horizon with breakthrough goals. Breakthrough goals would be 15% growth in the first year, 25% growth in the second, and 45% growth in the third. This is just hypothetical. It doesn't mean these are fixed in stone or anything. Just gives you an idea how to set goals. And so you want to dream big, you want to set your goals, and you want to take action. All right, so translating strategy into smart action plans. You want to create objectives. And we have a thing in the nonprofit world, it's called SMART objectives. And SMART is an acronym, okay? It stands for specific, measurable, action-oriented, and achievable, realistic, and timely. I'll say those again. Specific, measurable, action-oriented, achievable, realistic, and timely. By the way, everyone attending the webinar will receive these slides and a recording. Also, this webinar is being live streamed to YouTube, where it'll be recorded and it'll be available for free. And you can revisit it anytime on YouTube. Give us about a week to get that done, but it will be available, and we will send out the slides to everyone who's attending today. All right, creating team focus. In a nonprofit, everything is about the team, and monthly accountability sessions drive success. You evaluate progress, You set goals for the next month. You communicate success and action plans. Action plans focus and priority on 5 key questions. What is the project? What are the tasks associated with the project? Who is responsible for carrying out each task? When are the tasks due? And what is the status of the task? These are basic project management questions, and the application of project management to nonprofits is a very effective way of keeping track of where you are, where you're going, and where you want to be. So, revenue and volunteer capacity. Where do nonprofits get their revenue? Well, it doesn't drop out of thin air. It comes from donors and from grants and from other sources. 47% comes for fee for services, 25% for government. This is an average for all nonprofits, not for yours specifically. Your mix may be different. 25% from philanthropy. And in terms of philanthropy, about 5% for business, 11% from foundations, and the majority of philanthropic gifts come from individuals. So on average, households across the nation give around $1,900 a year to nonprofits. All right, increasing revenue supports your plan for new programs, to expand programs, to increase internal operating capacity, to increase the number of funders and reduce the risk of relying on only a few, and to create an operating reserve. Your case statement is critical to success. What is a case statement? It creates a concise and compelling reason that you exist and what you are doing. It defines the needs of the organization for which contributions are sought. It articulates outcomes, results expected, and who benefits in time and for what costs. It articulates your uniqueness, why your nonprofit organization qualifies to address the problem is, are you capable? Are you competent? Can you do it? And finally, it serves as a source of inspiration and key messages for the board, staff, and volunteers. People must be inspired by nonprofit. In the business, it's all about profit, but in nonprofits, it is about inspiration. It is about the cause. It's about the mission. And that's very important. That's very clear, and that people align around it. All right, defining your revenue mix. You want to create a healthy mix of revenue and not depend on any single source. Fee for services, 30 to 50%, as much as half. Philanthropy, maybe a quarter to about 2/5. Businesses, 5%, foundations, 10, individuals, 85%. Really, the bulk of your funding is likely to come from individuals. So, and then the government's always out there. Of course, in the current situation with the federal government, I can't give you any advice there because the situation is changing day by day. So I think you need to look at state and local for government support, at least for now. To increase revenue, you want to install or increase some fees. You want to find people who have grants and write proposals. You're going to conduct an annual fundraising drive, hold an annual fundraising event, make a special effort to develop major donors who are inspired by what you're doing, and consider plan giving and capital campaigns. You might also want to attract more in-kind donations. Generally, in-kind donations are not used to generate revenue, but can create value. For instance, to replace an expensive item, like maybe a computer or a telephone system or a piece of equipment that's used. It's never turned down. Or maybe if you're a food bank, you need a truck. So all these things are possible. So typical in-kind donations, as I mentioned, food, clothing, and household products, office supplies and equipment, office meeting and classroom space. Maybe you can get a free lease from a business especially if you're just starting a nonprofit and you don't need much square footage. Transportation, vehicles and gas, professional services, CPA, legal. By the way, if you are a nonprofit, the Cleveland Bar Association does have a service that is called pro bono, means for free, which will help nonprofits get started. Contact the Cleveland the Cleveland Bar Association for details. Some services are also provided by businesses. All right, special events. You want to limit your special events to 1 or 2 at most per year. The events need to be aligned with your mission. You really need to take a look at cost benefit as the amount of money you're spending for it and how much you're really going to raise. How many volunteer hours will it take? Will you clear at least 50% of your costs over and above costs? So, for instance, if you spend $1,000 on the event, will you clear at least $1,500 in revenue, which is you can recapture your costs and you get another 500 to put in the kitty to operate. Always do an analysis to make sure that your special event's going to wind up in the black and that you're going to wind up with money to support your organization. And so sharpen those pencils before you go out and start organizing. Really, really important. And finally, don't forget that you can get good public relations from these kinds of events and raise public awareness about your mission. All right, special events. You can also get sponsorships, underwriting the costs and maximizing revenue from tickets, sales, auction. Here's a checklist over on the right. I'm not going to go through it. You'll see it in the slides. Capture names and addresses. Anyone who attends the event can be solicited for future donations. Thank sponsors and ticket buyers with personal notes. Never, ever forget to do that. People like to be thanked when they support a nonprofit. And the event is not producing desired results, eliminate it or change it. There's an old saying about special events: execute your plan or execute your plan. So just really put all the planning you can think of and then some before you decide to go forward, because these things can acquire a life of their own unless you have complete control of what you're doing. All right, donors give advance to a cause, but not to support an institution. What donors care about is making an impact on the cause. Giving is often an emotional and not an intellectual decision. Donors want to be engaged and they want to feel like partners. You want to reach out to your donors from time to time with newsletters or email blasts and let them know what you're doing and keep their attention focused on how you are addressing the cause that they are supporting financially. Donor strategy. Don't treat all donors alike. Philanthropy is a relationship process and all relationships are different. Focus on high dollar current donors and high potential prospective donors at least 80% of your time. Offer major donors well thought opportunities to invest in your nonprofit through planned giving, through directed giving, or through other mechanisms. Annual gifts typically are unrestricted and can be repeated. So focus on renewing and upgrading current donors. You are looking for an 80 to 90% retention rate. And don't forget, no donation is too small, even if you are focusing on the big check writers. Now, what's your annual fund? Your annual fund is how you set your targets for raising money for the coming year. And don't forget to put stretch goals from one year to the next. You want to write a concise annual fund letter with a compelling message. And if you don't have experience, do this. Reach out and try and find someone who can help you write this. This is an acquired skill. It's not something you can just learn by looking up, donors for dummies. It really does require knowledge and experience. So if you have a question about it, reach out to someone who has the right expertise. Keep your page to one page. Keep your fundraising letter to one page if possible. Handwritten notes at the bottom of a letter. If you know the donor, especially your high donors, have high impact. And if possible, have a major donor offer a challenge or matching grant. For instance, a high value donor might say, I'm going to put up $10,000 if you can match it dollar for dollar. And I'll put the money in escrow. And when you hit $10,000, I'll release it from escrow. And now you have 20. So that's something to think about because it's a very effective way of raising money. Repeat donors, always ask for specific amounts. The request should be in line with the prior gift. Set the level of expectation to be considered. Include a tangible benefit. For instance, your donation of $100 will provide health services for one child for 1 month. Follow up with phone calls after a reasonable period of time to all upper level donors. Always reach out and touch your upper level donors more than one way. The letter, the phone call, and personal touch, all three are very important. Personal visits. You're talking 5 to 10K or more. You want to sit down, have a cup of coffee with them, or we just meet with them at a conference or a meeting. Peer-to-peer solicitation is very effective. Focus on a limited number of key messages. Avoid generalities, be specific, and use success stories. Donors resonate with success stories, so always have some available whenever you meet with a donor, so you can take them out and say, look, this is what your money is doing. So identify the benefits to clients and to the prospective donor. Show them how their money is put to work. Recruit more volunteers. Volunteers are the lifeblood of some organization. Of course, they come free. You're not paying them. They have to be passionate about your cause. They are some of your best resources, and also many volunteers also donate to the organization where they volunteer. They volunteer because they believe in the organization's cause and a desire to help. A strong sense of community is another motivating factor. Also, people want to participate in a meaningful activity and develop new skills. Don't forget, people who are retired have the most time available, but don't neglect people who are still in the workforce because some of them bring very valuable skills to the table. So look to both groups. 49% of Americans volunteer one way or another. That's a big number. And the typical volunteer puts in maybe about 157 hours. This is a national average, by the way. You might want to think about a metric of having at least 10 volunteers per employee. And board and committee members are all volunteers, and you can also have unpaid staff if people are willing to make that kind of commitment. You might also want to look at a gap analysis. A structured gap analysis identifies talent needed versus talent available. Focus on key roles like board members, fundraising, and staff, and publish the list internally. Here's an example of gap analysis. You can see that you have the skills and attributes of 4 volunteers and what their skills are. And it seems that Jane only brings one thing to the table, but all the others bring 2. This is a way you can look at your leadership and see who's you want to depend on for what. Okay, how to recruit volunteers. You can use personal networks of your staff, board, and other volunteers. You can build alliances with other sources. And don't forget to have an operating manual or a guidebook for your volunteers so that they understand the expectations for volunteering with the organization. This doesn't have to be hard and fast rule, but you want to give people some guidelines for what they do and how they do it. All right. Volunteers, leadership challenges for you as a CEO or as a manager within a nonprofit. Persuasion and goodwill, not financial incentives, drive performance of volunteers. You need to understand why people volunteer and put this knowledge to use. Passion for service or cause is the primary motivator. A clear mission, vision, and set of values is essential to align volunteers and performance with expectations. And don't forget to apply professional human resource standards to a volunteer workforce. People have to understand that even though they're volunteering, they have to align with the organization's goals and objectives and operating guidelines. And that just because you volunteer is not an excuse to freelance. You really do have to get in the groove with the organization, and people have to understand that. All right. Are there ways to expand or increase your services? What strategic objectives could you meet? Well, customer focus is basically have these kinds of elements to them. Your leadership has to be focused on the client. You have to understand the client. You have to design the experience the client will have. Your front line has to understand what they're going to do with the client. You have to be able to measure what you're doing with the client, and you need feedback from clients on how you're doing. You want to reduce turnover, just like in any organization that has a sales goal. You don't want to have turnover in customers. You want your clients to keep coming back and stay with you. You also want to put a limit on the effort invested per client. Some clients may have needs that just exceed the capacity of your organization, and you may want to try and refer them to an organization that has more horsepower than you do. You need an implementation plan and also an exit strategy. Um, the questions you always want to be asking as a manager is there a better or effective way to deliver products and services? Here's something kind of interesting. This is a metric you might want to put inside your hat and keep handy. The effective half-life of any event, program, or process is about 5 years. In other words, don't let your programs go stale, because if you do, people will go elsewhere for whatever it is that you're offering because that you won't be current. You want to employ a strategic planning process to decide what specific productivity improvements and efforts you want to undertake, and use a team approach. The more people on your team, your staff, and your key volunteers are involved in strategy, the more buy-in they will have when the strategy is complete. Yeah, here we go. Okay, we discussed how strategic planning process can be used to define an approach to building capacity. We identified 4 areas to explore to increase capacity: increasing revenue and getting donations, recruiting more volunteers, and doing more good work and increasing productivity. So, improving your skills to improve and build capacity. There are 4 elements to developing your skills. They are leading, managing, publishing, and building alliances. So, to number 1, leading. Being an effective advocate for your nonprofit's program, use facts and data, not opinion, not beliefs, facts and data. Use facts and data to tell success stories, to motivate and show how to do it. Recognize contributors, both volunteers and donors, and provide statistical reports of overall progress. And you want to resell every month with meetings, writing, phone call, and email. You really want to communicate. And don't forget, your stakeholders include your donors, your volunteers, and your staff and your clients. And all those people need to be involved in your communication plan. You want to create a culture of openness right from the start. Be present, be accessible, know your organization, understand drivers, also its limits, motivate, energize, and reward quickly, and seek help, be open, and be willing to change. All right, managing people. You want to manage your focus on actions taken and results achieved. Remember I said earlier, projects, tasks, who, when, and status. Here that is again. You want to know what the project is. You want to know what the tasks are. You want to know who's doing the tasks. You want to know when the tasks are going to be done. And you want to know the status of the task. That means holding people accountable, identifying shortfalls, being proactive, address issues, negative issues immediately. And here's another thing about management. If you have someone who's paid staff and they're not performing up to speed, don't go in and do the task yourself. That disempowers the employee. Go and coach them, counsel them, get them more training if necessary. People ultimately do want to do jobs. Nobody comes to work for someone to do a poor job. They all want to perform. So reach out and provide assistance, guidance, coaching, whatever it is, but don't go in and go hands and take the job out of the person's desk unless you intend to let them go because things have gone too far. So keep that in mind. There's always a chance to bring somebody back on beam and to get them to be productive. They just may need the right kind of help. All right. Organize teams when practical. Communicate organizational results. Practice MBWA, management by walking around. Visit with your team, visit with your volunteers, visit with your clients. Be visible. Celebrate success. If you do have a difficult employee, deal with it immediately. If someone has a personality issue or they're not getting along with the staff and corrective action hasn't been successful, you need to deal with that. Okay, there's a line that some people might cross and are not coming back, and it's time to say goodbye. So, be willing to, cut the cord if you have to. All right. Capture the power of persistent publicity. 3 monthly publications that you should be producing. You should be communicating to your staff to encourage them to build capacity. You should be communicating to your donors to create interest in opportunities. And you should be talking to your clients to attract those that fit your mission. Your mission, goals, and strategies should be publicized. You should tell success stories to instruct, inspire, and recognize. And you should also status information on relative to your goals, where you are now, how you are compared to prior months. And the fourth one, build alliances. There are other organizations that are probably interested in what you're doing, and you're probably interested in what they're doing. Build your board and committees with outreach to those organizations. Recruit volunteers and unpaid staff. Some of them will work with you to fundraise and collaborate on grants and may enable you to offer additional services. Again, with alliances, you can get donations of space, equipment, and supplies. You can get client referrals. You can sponsor events and programs with them and build your small nonprofit's credibility. Implementation, old versus new. All right. Decide where to allocate your effort. What is the greatest need that you are trying to meet? What strategies will have the greatest impact to meet that need and offer major contributors opportunities to do more for your nonprofit? One model for implementation is to create a capacity building strategy team. It identifies the challenge or opportunity to be met. It establishes the strategic direction and priorities, and it involves people from all levels of the organization. Also, in addition to a strategy team, create strategy action teams. They develop specific capacity building strategies to achieve the strategic direction, and they develop implementation to turn strategies into action. Here's just a recap. Do an organizational assessment, determine where you want to go, identify strategies to get there, establish strategy teams. We just talked about that, identifying tactics, and implement strategies and evaluate success. And also at the end of the year, do an annual review and assessment. How did we do this past year? You might want to do quarterly assessments as well, but at the end of the year, you want to look back and say, how did we do the past 12 months? And finally, wrapping up, visit our website, score.org, to arrange for a mentor. And if you are able, we again invite you to provide a small donation if you so desire. And here's the QR code. And I'll leave that up for a minute. Capture that. You'll get a survey at the end asking for your feedback on the session. And I'm going to see if there's any questions in the chat now. Stop sharing. And we're back. And there's 9 questions in the chat. So let's see. Oh my goodness. Zoom didn't show the presentation. I don't believe it. Let me just try something here. Do you see this now? I am so sorry. I don't know why that happened. All right. Well, let's go to Q&A. Oh boy. You know what? We'll reschedule this if we can. And I will, in any case, we will send you the slides. And I apologize for the technical glitch. I will stop the sharing. And I deeply apologize again for the technical glitch. And we will send you the slides. If you have questions, from my verbiage. I'm happy to try and answer them now. I can try and do that at least as a way of saying I'm sorry. You will all get the slides, and we will, three things for the smaller donors. Phone call, personal letter, and personal contact are all important with your large donors. With your smaller donors, phone call and personal letter are important. And don't forget to maybe sign, put a personal note to them. How does a business plan for nonprofit? Well, first of all, you don't have sales goals. You have a completely different approach to revenue, which is raising money from donors. So the key thing is that your funding is not based on selling widgets or services. It's based on raising money from donors and fees from clients. If you're charging your clients a fee. So those are the main difference. So now do we fix a 990 form each year? Well, your 990 form is your tax form, and so if you're filing your taxes, you'll be filing that annually. You know, nonprofits don't pay taxes, but you're still required to file with the IRS if you have 501c3 status. Yeah, if you received your 501c3 in 2025, you need to file in 2025. Talk to your accountant. Is there contact, if you contact? Yeah, you can reach me. My email address is Dan, I'm going to put it in the chat here. I'll just put it in the chat. This will be to everyone. I'll put my okay, I am a SCORE volunteer, and I will be resuming mentoring people with nonprofits as of February 1st. Currently, I'm working on some special projects for SCORE, so I'm not taking any mentors at the moment. But I'm happy to answer your questions. And as of February 1st, I'll be back in the saddle mentoring clients. But for the moment, I'm working on some special projects, so I'm not doing mentors, but I'm happy to answer your questions. Next time I do this, I'm going to do a test run and ask everyone, can you see the screen? This happens from time to time with Zoom. It's not the first time this has happened. So our technology is imperfect. Here's an interesting story about things being imperfect. 1492, when Columbus was trying to convince Queen Isabella to fund his journey to the New World, the church intervened and they said, you know, you're challenging the perfection of God. And Columbus replied, no, man's science is imperfect and can never challenge the perfection of God. I ain't got the money. So all I can tell you is that Zoom isn't perfect, and occasionally we don't get the money. How to manage volunteers. Get more information on how to manage volunteers. Well, you could sign up for SCORE Mentor. And go to score.org, and you'll be put your zip code in, and you'll get a form, which is called an intake form, and you can provide your name and contact information. And you could say, I have a nonprofit and I would like to meet with a SCORE mentor to learn more about how to manage my volunteers. And SCORE will assign you a mentor who has that kind of expertise, and they will work with you to answer your questions. Well, the SBA doesn't deal with nonprofits. And so if you contact the SBA, you would have to be a for-profit business. Um, Unfortunately, they do not have anything to do with nonprofits. SCORE is a nonprofit organization. We do get funding from the SBA, but the Small Business Administration is strictly for dealing with for-profit businesses. Does that answer your question? If not, post your question again in the chat. The yes, SCORE Mentor can help you with a business plan for a nonprofit. Again, if you want a SCORE Mentor to help you do that, go to score.org and put your, say, request a mentor. A form will come up and put your zip code in, and they will then connect you with the SCORE chapter closest to you if you're not in the Cleveland area, or in the Cleveland area if you are. And then there's a section in the contact form and put in there that you have a nonprofit, describe what the nonprofit does, and say that you want help developing a business plan for the nonprofit. And that'll be assigned to a SCORE mentor who has that kind of expertise, and they'll reach out to you. That does take a few days. It's not a case of add water and microwave, so please be patient, but that's how to get help. I'm going to do something to speed things up here. Give me a minute here. I'm going to see if I can put a link to give you direct access to the slides today, and so you don't have to wait for. Hang on a second, okay? Give me a minute. I'm going to um, let's go here. Give me a second while I do this. Now, I'm just going after something right now. See if I can't get you the slides today. Put the link in the chat. So give me a moment while I do that. All right, that's I have to download that. All right, let me download this. Okay. Now let's go here. Give me a minute. Still working on this. All right, so now I want to go here. I want to file upload. There's that. Okay, now I'm going to share this. All right, let's try this. I'm going to put a link. It's going to be a long link in the chat. And this is a link to the slides. So if you want the slides right now, instant gratification, folks, you can click on this link and have the slides right now. This is best way I can think of to apologize for our technical kerflooey. Let me know if any of you can successfully download them from clicking on that link. This is a PowerPoint presentation, by the way. You will need PowerPoint in order to see it. Okay, we have a winner. Okay, I'm going to leave that up for everybody. There's 11 of you on there. Works for you, so that's 2. And there's 3. Even though you're getting it today, you'll probably get it by email anyway, because our administrator doesn't know that I'm doing this. But that's okay. But she will send this out to you. So you'll get a link, you'll get a second link. And also, don't, if you get the recording, just ditch it because it's not going to help you on account of the fact that Zoom didn't show the stuff. Okay. I'll leave this up here for a few minutes. So in case you have, let me get it. While you're doing this, I want to wish everybody a happy holiday. This is an example of a way we could do fundraising, right? I'm not sure I don't understand the question. Could you be more specific? So Lorna Larson, you said this isn't, you'll get valuable free resource. We also have asked for donations. Oh yeah, that's exactly right. As you saw on the slide, basically, we asked for donations, and you can put up a QR code. You can make a QR code for any link in Google Chrome in the menu. If you click up the 3 dots on the right and come down to more tools, that's not right. Find and edit. Where is it? Okay, if you go to Google Chrome and you come down to Cast, Save, and Share from the 3 dots, a menu opens up, and at the very bottom it says Create a QR code, and you can create a QR code for any link. And so if you have a page on your website where people can fill out a form and make a donation, you can make a QR code from that link and then paste that into your homepage, and people can right up there on the homepage when they first find you, you can put that QR code in there and take you right to the donor page. And so, yeah, that's a really cool way to do it. QR codes are also good for helping clients get services from you. You could have a client intake form that was linked to a QR code from your homepage to say you're a client uh, needs, say you're in education or healthcare, and you provide specific services in no field, you say to if you would like to request services, uh, 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 here you can, a lot of people live on their phones. Not everyone has a laptop or a desktop, but a lot of people live on their phones. And so basically, you make your form mobile friendly. And so when they hit that QR code, it comes up on their phone, they can tap in their information and it goes right to the person in your organization who is involved with client intake, and they can reach out and contact you as a potential client. So it's another way to use QR codes. I'll leave this up for another minute or two, and, and then I will end the session. Um, and that will be it for the day. Um, and I will go off and tell the score gods that I have uh, had a glitch here, and we'll try and figure out what happened so it doesn't happen again. Okay, folks, thanks so much for being with me today, and I wish you all a good holiday. And I'm going to close the session now. Here we go.